What's up, everybody? This is Jose from Southern Life.
Hey, Katie!
Welcome to Jones County, Georgia. Today we're going to be exploring Gray, Georgia, the hometown of country singer Demun Jones. Is that an upside down Beetle? No, big upside down on one vehicle. Is that a Porsche? Oh, dude, these car dealerships out here are sick, bro. Do you see the selection of cars they got out here?
Wow.
Over in Jones County, we're 10 minutes from Gray, Georgia. 9 minutes now. We're on Highway 129, heading north. From what I've heard, Gray is one of the nicest towns in Georgia. We're gonna see if it's true, if it looks good. Obviously, behind us is Macon, Georgia, and Macon is in rough shape. I mean, homelessness everywhere, garbage everywhere. Let's see if it's a little bit better heading into Jones County. Also, the Piedmont National Forest is north of us, and there's a big giant lake called Lake Juliet, so there's a lot of things to do nature-wise here. If you're familiar with Demun Jones, he's a country music singer. It's kind of country rap. Country rap is probably the right terminology. He's got songs like Feeling Good. He made a song for his little sister, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. Who was autistic or Down syndrome?
I don't remember.
Can't remember. But he made a very. It was a good song, like very deep. He also live streams a lot. I remember one time he did a live stream, and for some random reason he goes, "I don't care if you're Cuban or Mexican or whatever. If you're a hard-working man, I respect you." And I was like, I can co-sign that because I'm Cuban. Like, I already liked him as an artist. When he said that, it was like, okay, you know, he's a country person, but he doesn't have that backwards mentality. So I co-signed the dude. Good music. One of my favorite songs, Backyard Lullaby, Tall Pines, Feeling Good. Really good music. He doesn't, for the most. Oh, I love the one about mudding. The Pit. The one about mudding. But his music is about deer hunting, family. It's not so much political. It's not so much crime like other.
It's like life. It's good.
It's just a real, like, what I like about this artist is his music really is relatable music. You know, it's about the hustle of trying to work hard. Also, I like that he presents himself as a worker. I think their family has like a mason building, whatever. They just present themselves as hardworking people. The pride of home ownership, working hard, just good family, good people values that anybody could co-sign these things, you know. It's a relatable type of music, and for the most part, it's free from a lot of just kind of music today is mostly garbage. But here's an artist that his music is, look at all those trucks. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Dude, look at all those trucks. Oh, is that for sale? Is that a dealership? It is. I'm gonna see these trucks on the way out. Jacked up Chevy. Please, it's not the jacked up Chevy. Let's look at it.
I'm trying to hold on to money so I can buy a house.
You're over here trying to. But anyways, I lived in rural Alabama, if you guys don't know. So we're in Macon right now, Macon metro area. I lived in the Montgomery metro area, just outside of Montgomery. And I didn't like living up there, man. I dealt with a lot of bad things, a lot of backwards mentality, and just very passive-aggressive behaviors from people because of my background. But I feel like I've talked to friends that live in Macon, and my friends have family that live in Macon. They tell me that it's just about the same garbage as Montgomery as far as the mindset of people up here. Just a lot of people here are very hostile to outsiders. And it's sad because a lot of people, Hispanic, Asian, want to assimilate to the American culture. And when we try to move into a place and be part of the instead of, like, you have to understand, like, people don't want to live in Los Angeles. People don't want to live in San Francisco. They might want to live in the deep south. So, you know, they want to blame those people. Oh, you want to live in these big cities. They don't want to live in those big cities. I talked to them. I talked to a guy, and now, keep in mind, Atlanta is much more progressive than Macon. It's not even the same world right now. You go to Atlanta, I found a guy in San Diego, California. He used to live off
City limits.
City limits of Great Cool. He used to live off of Buford Highway in North Atlanta. It's a diverse area. It's a world away from where we are now. And he told me that he moved to California because in the Atlanta area, he dealt with so much discrimination that he just couldn't handle it anymore. So he moved to San Diego, and the guy owns a business and has 2 jobs. He says he gets to sleep 6 hours a day. But he says those 6 hours of sleep in San Diego are better than 12 hours of sleep in Georgia, because when he closes his eyes in San Diego, he knows he's safe. Where when he lived in Georgia, he says he couldn't sleep at night. And I don't need him. I told him, you don't have to explain it to me. I lived in Alabama. I know exactly what you're talking about. So the problem with these places is people want to assimilate to the American culture. They want to join the economy. They want to assimilate to the American culture economically, socially. But when they try to do it, they're faced with hardship, oppression, discrimination, to the point where people just get tired of trying and they retract back into a big city like Miami or San Diego or San Francisco, not because they want to do it, but because the oppression that they face in these places is big. And if you're an American and you're from here, you don't get to see that. But if you're an Indian family or Syrian family and you move to a place like this, I talk to people now and they start to tell me their experiences. And let me tell you, it's hard to listen to these experiences. And they all sound about the same. We moved to a small country town. We started a business. The county wouldn't let us get permits. We eventually started the business. People came to the business and started to threaten us. People would leave garbage outside our business on a daily level. Police would pull us over. When we got robbed, we called the police, and the police refused to respond. It's always the same story. There's no, it's the same grid pattern, the same exact set of events. So when Hispanics and Asian families move to a place like this, not everybody here co-signs those behaviors or is even aware of what happens to these people. Teachers make comments to the students is another major. It's a blueprint, and it's happening from Virginia to Eastern Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Arkansas, and it's always the same. South Carolina, North Carolina. It's the same blueprint that these families go through when they move to these places. Like where I get an email and I can compare it to another email and it's the same exact thing, and you can't tell me it's a lie because when we lived in Alabama, we faced it. You know, when I lived in Alabama, outside of the Montgomery metropolitan area, a beautiful place called Millbrook, I went to the police department and I said, "Hey, police department, this is going on." And they told me, "Well, you're an illegal Mexican. I'm a U.S. citizen. Here's my paperwork." Doesn't matter. To us, you're an illegal Mexican.
Same story, different players.
Now that people tell me the stories, it's all the same. So it's unfortunate that in the United States you have immigrants that want to assimilate, are looking. I think we passed the Jackson right? No? That's up ahead. That's up ahead.
We're driving through town.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. We're gonna go eat at Jack's. They have a Jack's. It's one of my favorite restaurants in the South. Customer service sucks. It's pretty much garbage food, but when I got used to it living in Alabama.
Yeah.
It really is probably like some of the worst crap you could ever eat.
Yeah. Somebody just got some
This has to be
stickers.
some of the most redneck place I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
You catch how many like trucks there are, like
Yeah.
jacked up and. But anyways, like I said, guys, it's really upsetting that, you know, I went through that experience in Alabama, and as I went through that experience, I had other people open up to me about their experiences. In fact, I think I can go through the email. Open up the email here. I just asked people to send me their stories today. It's on the Sun Life email.
Yeah.
So I can find one. This one's about Richmond, Virginia. Continue success. This guy's from Delaware. Being from New Jersey, I'm not going to read the name. Moving to Richmond, Virginia wasn't the greatest move. The people were very passive aggressive. There's one key term. Southern culture was slow, and racism was way more than I faced in the Atlantic suburbs. I did have one positive experience working on, I'm not going to say where he worked, but people never say anything to anyone's face. Exactly. All behind your back. It gets old fast. It sure does, man.
Like,
they have an English and an Ace Hardware.
yeah. Like, I remember hearing people talk about me in the grocery store.
And not knowing it was you.
Not knowing it was me.
Yeah, so they'll talk behind your back. Like Katie had that one experience where she was at the grocery store, and she heard people. She had a little impromptu.
The Jax is there.
Yeah, I love the Jacks. We'll come back to it. Let's drive through town.
Yeah.
I love their food, but they're known for having some of the worst customer service. Are they based out of Alabama?
Yes.
Yeah, they're based out of Alabama. They have a huddle house here. I love Sanchez Craig Orthodontist. That's cool. Sanchez is a Spanish name. And an orthodontist is a pretty high-paying job.
Yeah.
So that's good.
They got Zaxby's here.
But it's weird. Like me, I listen to country music. I like country culture. I like country lifestyle.
We like big trucks, big
We're into all of that.
SUVs, and
now
ATVs.
we live in a suburban rich area, not because we want to live there, but because of how we were treated. So this is like the town center here. This looks more like, oh, I love the old trucks, dude. This town is really something else. Old truck. Gray's headquarters. But it's weird how you can't blame the immigrant, because the immigrant learns the language, assimilates to the culture. By the way, we're not junkies. We're not collecting food stamps. We're working. If you could take a left, it'd be great. See, like that's their town center there. Take a left there at this light, if you can.
At the...
Right here, right before the.
Okay, let me see if I can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do this.
You know, you can't blame the immigrant who learns the language. Take a left there, and you can go around there, because they have like a frontage, and I guess there are historical buildings around the frontage. You can't really blame the immigrant who, yeah, it's really weird layout. They have like a frontage. See how they're building houses? That's pretty good. You can flip around the front of these businesses here.
Okay.
And head back the other way. You can't really blame the immigrant who learns the language, assimilates to the culture, likes the music, likes the food, likes everything about your country, and then they have to move out of the town.
And look at you. You married.
Married an American, right? Married to an American.
Yeah.
But then they made the battle so hard that they made it hard for you. They just purposely did everything they could to make your life miserable. And then they want to blame you. You're the perpetrator.
Left or right?
Right.
Okay.
Nice little country town.
Just
Careful
get
with the
in.
curb, yeah.
Get
Yeah,
in.
you're good. Just make sure you don't hit the
Yeah.
curb. See, I may have to wait for the signal here because it's a really long turn.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just don't know what to say, man. Like, here's somebody who assimilates to your culture, likes your music, likes everything about your country, abandons their country. And by the way, a lot of times when we abandon our countries, I guess you can turn nobody's coming.
There's a police officer.
Oh, yeah,
right
I'll
there.
wait then. I don't know what the laws are in Georgia. I'm sure you can, but just wait.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people from Syria, Cuba, countries, when we leave our country, we can never go back to our home country.
Yeah.
Our country's like, if you abandon like if you're American and you move to Australia for a while, nobody gives a crap. You know, but if you're Cuban and you move out of Cuba, or you're a lot of these countries like Cuba, Syria, if you leave your country, you are not
Do you
moving
have
back.
to stop because the lights are up?
Yeah, if somebody's coming, you might want to be careful.
Yeah.
But there are countries where if you leave them, you're not moving back. You know, you can't. And if you get deported back to your country, you're going straight to a prison. Or you're not going to see daylight again. If you get deported back to your country after you leave, you put so much into coming over here, try so hard to be an American, and then you get treated like that, it hurts. You feel betrayed. You feel... And then here's the thing, you're talking about
Do you want me to drive through or just
yeah,
go to the Jacks?
Yeah, let's go to Jack's. You're talking about somebody who put so much... Their auto house sign fell.
Yeah.
Can't say I feel bad for it. You know, somebody puts so much into assimilating to your country, learning the language, loving the culture, trying to be an American, and then they get treated like that. They feel resentful. And I think a lot of things that are happening in the United States right now that are bad could possibly stem from people that are just sick of... It's a problem.
Sick of it, and then they mentally snap.
They snap. I snapped in Alabama.
Because of the PTSD.
Yeah, I snapped in Alabama. I really did. But these are problems you're creating by the ideologies that are being taught to people. You don't know if you guys know this, but here in Georgia, the death rate from COVID was over 750 out of 100,000 in the southern part of the state, the counties that are in the southern part of the state. Also, 20 to 30% of the population is vaccinated. So they lost 500 out of 100,000. So basically, over a 2-year period, you're talking 1 in 100. Listen to this.
Yeah.
In this part of the country, 1 out of 100 people. What are you doing?
Parking. Do not enter. Okay.
Yes. Pretty much, man.
Okay. Yeah.
Park over here.
Okay.
1 in 100 people that died. 1 in 100 people in this area died, basically.
Yeah.
Right here. 1 in 100 people died in this part of South Georgia. And they died. Those are the ones that died. Stop. Those are the ones that died because they weren't vaccinated. That's above the national average. Above the national average. So they lost 1 in 100 people out of their ignorance. But did they recognize, crap, this was a huge mistake? No. It's just crazy how things are being done wrong and people aren't realizing that. I don't know. Whatever. Checking out. This is great, Georgia. Let's get some Jacks. I love their food.